So can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, YouTube? Can you hear me now? Please, if you can hear me, we were having a little bit of a setback on our audio on YouTube. If you can hear me, please do let me know. All right? Please welcome here. Welcome. It's TIP Tuesday session. Okay? And we are here. Sharing on a very interesting, session. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. All right, great. At least I have more people indicating that they can hear us. Thank you so much for that. All right, thank you so much for that. Okay, I don't know what's happening to our Facebook connectivity, but I want to know that you can also see me. All right, so my name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parents Academy, and I'm the author of best-selling parenting books, right? Called Connect to Correct, the discipline that works. I'm from Yelling to Come. I think great, but please do let us know. Do let us know that you can hear a lot more better. All right, so tag are going to be doing some great awesome session today. All right, please do tag everyone. If you're on Facebook, you can only tag because you can't share because we have a private group. Tag everyone. If you're on Facebook, you can only tag because you can't share because we have a private group. If you are on YouTube, of course, you can share. You can share. All right, you can share if you're on YouTube. All right, please share with everybody and let them come into the class. All right. You're righty. Thank you for joining me. It is an awesome time. We're here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. and we are live today talking about something really important. Okay, all right. If this is your first time of watching me, if this is your very first time of watching me, it means that you just tell us in the comment section. Just put first time watching. And remember that if you're catching a replay, all you need to do is also to put a hashtag I'm catching a replay. All right. I don't know why the video session that we have on Facebook is a bit slow, but it's fine. We're going to go on anyway. All right. So today we're looking at 5 important things. All right. Good day. Okay. I see a lot of people on the YouTube channel. Okay. 5 important things to do if you have suffered childhood trauma. Okay. Right. So let's keep going. How do I know that I have even suffered from childhood trauma? A lot of people have reached out to me since we started talking about childhood trauma. How do I know? What do I need to do? How do I go about it and all of that? All of these are valid questions. And trust me, these things are the things that we need to actually learn to deal with, okay? And if you don't deal with it, then it is going to be a big issue, right? Please tell me where you're joining me from. I can't see a lot of chats, so I don't know if I'm talking to myself or not. If that is the case, I might have to log out on our Facebook totally, and you will need to connect only on YouTube. All right. If I can't see people on our Facebook channel, we would bring down the video on Facebook and just you get to watch only on YouTube. And I think that's what we're going to do because I don't think as in we can see conversations. Please, if you're watching me on Facebook, make a comment. If not, we're shutting down the video. All right, on Facebook, and then we move everybody to YouTube right away. If you are watching me, please do make a comment. All right, invite people. If we don't have a lot of all of that, then we can all migrate to using one channel. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. And today we are talking about 5 important things that you have suffered, that if you have suffered childhood trauma. How do I know that I have suffered? One of the things that I have, seen, all right, thank you so much for those of you who are saying hi. I can see comments right now. Thank you so much. For those of us who are constantly, confused about all of this, today we're going to help you. look at all of this conversation and begin to get it right. When it comes to childhood trauma, many people do not know if they have gone through trauma or not. But what comes to mind when you hear childhood trauma? I want to see comment. What comes to mind when you hear childhood trauma? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? All right. I want to see comment before we continue. I want to see comment. I want to be sure that I'm not here alone. What comes to mind anytime that you get to hear childhood trauma? What comes to mind? Let me see comments. Comment. All right. Right. Let's see comment. What comes to mind whenever you hear of childhood? Whenever you hear of childhood trauma? Right? We're waiting for your answers. YouTube, Facebook. Okay, I can now see people on Facebook. Awesome. Okay. All right. What comes to mind anytime you hear of childhood trauma? What is it that comes to mind? While we're doing that, remember that today we're going to be taking the ACT test. This ACT test is an Adverse Childhood Experience Test. It's comments are here now. I guess you're the one who didn't see comment. Yes. All right, that's fine. I can see that. I can see that now. Okay. But of course, I just reckon that our YouTube channel is usually mostly more reliable these days. All right. Pains, hurt, anger, unforgiveness. Thank you so much, Mabue. I like the way you put it. Pain, hurt, anger. I'm asking, what comes to mind? Anytime you talk about childhood trauma, what is that thing that you think? You know, Mabue said pain. She said hurt. She said anger. She said unforgiveness. Abiodun said anger and fear. Whoa, I like that other part. Fear, all right? Anger and fear. Some of the childhood abuse either from parents or guide. Thank you so much, Tessie. Thank you so much, Tessie. And a lot of the times, one of the biggest problems is that many people do not know if they've gone through childhood trauma or not. So a lot of the times, whenever people hear, childhood trauma, you hear things like, time heals everything, all right? Pain and neglection, thank you. You hear things like, time heals everything, all right? Time heals everything. But I want to say, time does not heal trauma. I said that in our last class last Tuesday. It doesn't heal trauma. Time only numbs your feeling, and it's not the same thing as healing. Fear, secrecy. Whoa. Ucha, thank you so much for this. Secrecy. In fact, a lot of childhood trauma is actually associated with a lot of secrecy. In fact, I think this is really on point. Thank you for sharing this, ma'am. Someone says rape, pains, and more abuse. Childhood trauma. All right. I've seen people who have waited for time to heal, but the past keeps chasing them and bringing back thoughts. So when you're traumatized as a child from your past, it lives deep inside of you. It's nothing that can be squashed and put under the carpet. We must realize that. All right. These memories, they are engraved in our system. It influences our relationship. It influences self-esteem. One parent, most parents are victims. So most of us are victims of childhood trauma, unfortunately. And what is even happening is that we end up victimizing these children. Have you ever heard that an abused person will naturally abuse another person except they get healed on their journey? I've said that time again without, time and time again. This is just the simple truth. So the mindset many people have on how to treat their children portrays the victim mindset. I've heard many people say, but that's how we were raised, the victim mindset. For every time that you say that to yourself, know that that is you portraying the victim mindset. Those things that were done to you, and you say, they were done to me after all, it's not a big deal. The victim mindset. So let me simplify it. One of the ways that people mismanage their anger is by playing the victim card. That's how one of the ways that people cope, that's the word, cope with their trauma, all right? So they play the victim card. So when they can't manage their anger, they break out the victim card and slot it in. So many parents become trapped in the victimized orientation of life because they feel comfortable with their whole anger in that space. it leads to an adoption of the victim rule without even knowing it, because they are afraid of the anger emotion. This is a bit deeper than just the surface thing. I might not be able to explain it as deep as you would understand, but I'm going to try. So you begin to deny it, and you begin to project those fears onto other people. So apparently, when people say, "Oh, I'm just angry," many of the times they are afraid of defining what the anger emotion is about, and they also project it onto others without knowing. This I have shared with you is simply what happens to people who have unhealed trauma. If you have unhealed trauma, trust me, this is going to come up again and again on your journey. Right? Some time ago, we discussed healing in the Inner Circle Academy, and I realized that many people are raising children without healing from their past. So many parents are angry with themselves. They are angry with their spouses. They are angry with the economic situation of the nation. Of course, it leads to playing the victim card all the time. So whenever emotions arises, they take victimizing their children by playing the victim card without, not because they want to, but because they don't know any other way. They say things like, "You caused it. You made me angry." If you're at that point where you're telling your children things like, "You caused it. You made me angry," have you ever wondered why you haven't gotten to the point where you can take responsibility for your actions and emotions? Our childhood experiences show up later in our adult life and haunt us. So whatever it is that you experienced in the past, it will haunt you intentionally or unintentionally. How were you treated as a child? How were you treated as a child? A lot of the times we try to, will I say, pretend about some of the things that happen to the feeling. Or we tend to, put a system that tells us that no, we don't need it. And we become hypocritical about whatever it is that has happened to us. How are you treated as a child? It has a direct effect on how you parent your children. And until you understand this as a parent, you will consistently need to work on yourself before raising another human being. Your emotional stability, awareness, they are paramount to the success that you have as a parent. You need to start working on understanding who you are, and this is the most important thing you must do. This is the most important thing that you must do. All right? Why do you get angry so much? I've heard a lot of people say things like, "Hey, it's just anger." I've seen people say, "My parents beat me so much. I'm still going to do the same thing with my children." You don't know that you're not doing it purposely. I like the way that Freud says it. He says that we have the tendency, Freud is a psychologist, the former psychologist, said we have the tendency to repeat. We have the tendency to repeat without even knowing that is what is happening to us. There's always a tendency to repeat. That's the question I want you to ask yourself today. How was I raised? It might include worries about your health, your finances, and a lot more in the middle of this. Is a child. You're having issues, you have worries about your health, you have issues about your finances, you have issues about your marriage. All of this is a child who is innocently looking for a shoe. Have you ever imagined that? A school shoe. A school shoe. And then, or a pen, or even a pen. So in the middle of all of these worries, the anger build up. So it's not ordinary. And you begin to heap it a lot on your children. Whereas this is just an innocent child throwing a tantrum or just being a child. The children can't challenge you. So you unleash your anger on them. It's okay to be angry, but it's never okay to unleash your anger on another person. I usually ask parents to do an honest review when they come into, any of our programs, the inner circle, the programs that we run. It helps the parents open up and evaluate themselves. Because until you tell yourself the gospel truth, you will continue to build the same circle. We just finished reading a book in the inner circle, level 1, called The 5 Languages of Children. And, parents were sharing on how my parents were good. They were not bad people, but they raised us in anger. And I have seen how that has also affected me as a human being. In anger, a lot of parents feel entitled to their feelings. And you say things like, how can this child be responsible? Oh, no matter how much a child has behaved, it's the fault of the child. The moment you exonerate yourself from the process of raising that child, then is a failed system. I'm going to talk about a bit about us saying, how can this child be responsible? I've been trying to, be calm on this subject for a while. And, we're currently having a pandemic. If you do not know it, please know it today. That we are currently having a pandemic on the number of children who are getting into pornography. And the truth of the matter is that this is one of the things that can happen to your child that can cause adverse childhood experiences. We're going to get there. I'm going to be taking the test on adverse childhood experiences. So we even understand if we're suffering from adverse childhood experiences, and then we can now deal with it. I realized that a lot of parents, when things like that happen, they'll say, it's the child's fault. There's a place of you taking responsibility on this journey. Please do not advocate your job to anybody. You see that house help that is in your house, that is helping you do assignments, helping you cook, helping you do all of that. She's the one parenting for you. Unfortunately so. And if your children exhibit whatever, please do not blame the children. A lot of our children are being raised by ourselves. Many of them. And in this circle, we're seeing abuses, we're seeing sexual abuses, we're seeing, in fact, there was a case we handled, a house help who taught a 7-year-old how to watch porn. And she has watched porn for the last 2 years. The house help is a girl. So for your information, for those of you who think that, I'm talking about a boy, no. And this girl is also a girl. And, we're leaving all of these gaps, and then we're saying the children are irresponsible. How does that even fit in? How does that even fit in? A child lied to you, you draw a conclusion, and you assume, this child is going to grow up to become a thief. How? These thoughts bring a range of emotions, and in this case, it is fear. Now, unfortunately, when these things happen, I see a lot of parents, they tell me, the child has been doing pornography for the past 1 year. I have been praying, I have been beating the child. What are you talking about? Are you okay? As in, are you guided? You have been praying, you have been helping, how do they even say it? I've been beating the child, I've been shouting, coach, I've been praying. Like, seriously? The child gets into pornography and that's what you're doing? There are just some things that I can't get. Can we please stop these excuses and do the job that we decided to do? You're the one that made the decision. You're the one that made the decision that you wanted a child. You're the one that made the decision that you wanted a child. You made that decision yourself. Unfortunately, there are too many of the cases that I cannot share with you. In the month of this thing alone, in the month of April alone, we've had over 12 cases. I'm talking about under 12-year-olds. A child who has been sexually abused is going to end up having adverse childhood experience. And it's a big deal. If you don't know, it is a big deal. And then you sit there and you tell me you don't have time. Let me not get started on that part. Children are the same. How we react is what is very, very important. what happened in your early years? Studies have shown that everything we do comes from our subconscious. And the subconscious mind is built between the ages 0 and 10. So it means that everything you do is coming from your early years. Everything. So experiences during your childhood shape your perception, understanding of critical moments of our adult life. So over time, these negative experiences disrupt the neurodevelopment. They lead to social, emotional, and cognitive impairment. And of course, ultimately, the result is adopting health risk behaviors. That's what adverse childhood experiences, entails. So now, the first thing that you must do for you, 5 important things that you must do if you have suffered childhood trauma. First of all, I think I want us to identify if you have suffered childhood trauma by taking the ACE test. If you have a pen and a paper, please get ready. All right. If the answers are, you can decide to write in the comment section, or you can decide to write on your jotter. But you can write on the comment section. It's going to make it more exciting. So you can identify it if you have suffered trauma by taking the ACE test. Now, the adverse childhood experience comes in many forms, ranging from physical abuse, mental abuse, neglect, household dysfunction. There are 10 different types of childhood trauma that is mentioned in the ACE study. And 5 of them are personal physical abuse, like verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical neglect, and emotional neglect. 5 are related to other family members, but a lot of them are related to the individual. So a parent whose father was an alcoholic, or a parent whose mother was a victim of domestic violence will hurt the household. A parent whose father was even abused will hurt the household. It's not going to disappear. Even divorce is a big deal. It affects your ACE counts. So even if you have gone through divorce yourself, it's going to affect the ACE count of your child. So the CGC study uncovers the stunning link between childhood effect and chronic diseases people develop as an adult. So in psychotherapy, there have been a relationship. And I'm going to link up, with this kind of upbringing that we have, in our time. So childhood trauma has been linked to chronic disease development as an adult, and as well as social and emotional problems. And we're talking about diseases like heart disease. We're talking about diseases like lung cancer. We're talking about diseases like diabetes and many autoimmune diseases like depression, violence, and suicide. You look around our society and you see so much violence and you think it's okay. This is ACE playing out. This is adverse childhood experiences playing out. Can you see the number of suicides that we're counting? Nigeria is ranking over 1 to 5. Your country is there. Until you keep saying, oh, my country, Nigeria, oh, we don't commit suicide. Go and check it. Go and check the statistics. It's scary. And we're talking about children, young children, teenagers. So everything you're doing as a parent has an after effect. ACE is walk through experiences, not just exposure. So if an ACE is prevented from causing toxic stress, the harm will not occur. So it means that a child constantly needs a nurturing environment that can build that child resiliently to prevent them from ACEs. Do you have that? So it means that a child constantly needs a nurturing environment that can build that child resiliently to prevent them from ACEs. Do you have that kind of environment? The good news is early intervention and prevention of the impact of ACE can be mitigated. And this is essential for you to know what is happening to you as a parent. Most of us enter parental relationship wounded, that's the word, from our childhood. And like I always say, time does not necessarily heal any hurt. Numbing a feeling doesn't mean that it heals it. So you can develop coping mechanisms, but it's not the same as healing from your heart. So the first point of call is find out what is wrong. The fear, the rage of childhood are powerful and they can overwhelm you as a parent. It's very challenging to overcome this, but if you understand ACE, ACE can be dangerous to your children as well. That can help you. Now, let me give you a little clips of what happens when you're angry. Imagine your spouse beating you and you're losing your temper. Now, imagine them 3 times bigger than you. So imagine that your spouse is 3 times bigger than you. And they hover above you. That's the way, and they are beating you. Imagine how that is. Then imagine that you depend on that person for food, you depend on that person for shelter, depend on that person for safety, depend on that person for protection, depend on that person for love, for confidence, multiplied by 1,000 times. That's exactly a sample of what happens when you get angry and unleash it on your child. Now, the more we sweep ACEs under the carpet, the more harm it will do to us. So the need to heal from our childhood experiences cannot even be overemphasized. So children suffer violence, exhibit lasting negative effects that reach every corner of the adult life. If you commit to learning differently, you will begin to see things differently and you will correct them. How can I control and react on our ACEs and all of that? Anger is scary enough for your child. A child who suffers violence will lead to a low IQ, a likelihood of a stormier relationship in their marriage. So while you are beating your child, those things, while you're beating your child and you're jumping up and down and telling yourself that you're doing the right thing, just know that you are actually presenting ACEs. And there's also a likelihood of low IQ in your child. There's also a likelihood of your child suffering a stormier relationship in their own marriage. And there's also a likelihood of substance abuse. Don't get it twisted. Everything you do has its effects. Don't kid yourself. Don't go and tell yourself, don't go and tell yourself, oh, all these things, all of this, blah, blah, blah. The after effects are there. Studies have been made on children who go into substance abuse, and you begin to see the trace. It's crazy. So if your child isn't afraid of your anger, of course, when your child has become, there are times that we say, oh, the child is not even afraid, I'm doing all of that. There's a problem. There's a problem. It's an indication that you've numbed them and they've developed defenses. The unfortunate result is that your child is less likely to want to behave well, to please yourself if you're not influencing them. Now, let's go on and take this test, the Adverse Childhood Experience Test. This test will tell you where you are. Now, let me say this. If you have anything score 4 and above, then you need help. Don't get it twisted. In fact, when I took this test, I had a 3/10. I still put myself through the process of therapy because I want to be as sane as possible. Okay? Number 1, please get your pen and your paper. Let us take this test. Did a parent or other adults in the house often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, humiliate you, or act in any way that made you afraid or physically hurt you? If you experience any of this, please put 1 in the comment section. Are you with me? Please put 1 in the comment section. Let us see your comment before we move to the next. Let's see your comment before we move to the next. Let me repeat the question. Did the parent or other adult in the household, anybody, often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, humiliate you, or act in any way that made you afraid or physically hurt you? Please put 1. Number 2, thank you. Did the parent of another adult in the household often or even very often push you, grab you, slap you, throw something at you, or even hit you that made a mark or you were injured? Did you ever experience that? Did you ever experience that? If you experience that, you can put another 1 because you're going to calculate your points on the number of marks that you have. So if any other adult in the household often or even very often push you, grab you, throw something at you, or even hit you, then or even made a mark when they did that, or you were injured. Number 3, did an adult or a person, 5 years, please, number 2, you can add 2 arrows, at least that helps us. So if number 2 is yes, please add 2, just add 2 arrows, as in 1 into 2, so that we don't get confused. At least that will help you also calculate better. Number 3, did an adult or a person 5 years older than you ever touch you, fondle you, or have you touched their body in any sexual way, or even attempt to have oral or vaginal sex with you? Did that ever happen to you? If that is the case, you can put 1, 2, 3, as in 1, 1, 1 into 3. That will help us also differentiate. Thank you. I see the comments. All right. That is number 3. Okay. So if you have number 3 as a yes, you can put 1, 2, 3. That is 3 ones, on a comment. That helps us. Then number 4, did you often or very often feel that no one loved you, or thought that you were not important, or your family didn't look out for you, or others lack emotional ability? If that is a yes, then put 1, 1, 1 into 4. So that's 4 ones. Okay, I repeat it again. Did you often or very often feel that no one loved you, or thought that you were not important, family, or didn't look out for you, or you lacked emotional stability? Please put 4 ones, and then we keep moving. Number 5, do you very often feel that you couldn't have enough to eat, or didn't have enough to wear, or no one to protect you, or you had a father who was an alcoholic? If any of this is true, please put 4 yeses, which is 4, 1, 1, 1. Sorry, 5, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can just put it there, and that will help us indicate. Now, let me say something about the ACEs. The ACEs are universal tests. I didn't make it. This is not from me. This is universal, is a universal something. So if you are watching me, just know that you're taking a test from WHO, and it is true. That's proven. I didn't do the research. Okay. Number 6, were your parents ever separated at any point in time, or did they ever get divorced? If this number 6 is a yes, just put 5, 1, 6 year ones. But if it's a no, you can just add a 0, and that works. So just add a 0. So we're adding another 1, you add a 0 to those your marks. So that helps you. All right. Please note that all of these questions were all before you turned 18. Of course, we're talking about childhood experiences. Number 7, was your mother or father or stepfather, anybody that represented a mother ever abuse you? Any one of them at all? Abuse emotionally, physically, did they ever abuse you? Number 7. Please, if that is true, add 7 yeses, 7 ones, and then, continue that way so that we also do not get confused. Thank you so much for doing that. It's making a lot of sense. At least we can see, the scores. Number 8, did you live with anyone who was a problem, or he or she had a challenge with alcohol or drugs? Anybody at all? Maybe it's not your parent. Before you turn 18, anybody who was into alcohol, drugs? If that is a yes, you can put another 1. If that is a no, you can just add a 0. Number 9, was your household member, any of your household member, ever depressed, mentally ill, or anybody attempted suicide in your community, as in around where you live? Did anybody in your household was mentally ill, or anyone attempted suicide around you? Please put a yes, a 1, if that is true. Or anyone attempted suicide around you? Please put a yes, a 1, if that is true. Number 10, did you ever have a household member go to cell or prison? Any household member growing up go to cell or prison? Put a 1, or you can put a 0. All right, put a 1, or you can put a 0. Now, please do a total sum of your score. Let me see everybody just write. If your score is 6, let me see 6 in the comment section. If your score is 4, let me see 4 in the comment section. If your score is 1, let me see 1. If your score is 10, let me see 10 in the comment section. So just calculate it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Want to just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see the comments. Now, these above questions are determining factors. Now, the question is, how high is too high? Let me see the comments. Let me see the comments. Chisom, you're just logging in. Well, you have to do a replay to take the test. All right, you have to do a replay to take the test. Okay, so if you have a total score, let's see your total score in the comment section. Total score in the comment section, please. 5, 7. Thank you, Auntie T. Edosa, thank you. 3, Destiny. Thank you so much. Please put your score. If you're watching me, please put that score in the comment section. Please put that score in the comments. That's the first way. That's the first point to even begin to do this healing process. We're identifying if you even suffered trauma in the first place, so that you're not just carrying along and just saying, oh, I didn't, nothing happened to me. Oh, we turned out okay. You know, we turned out okay story that we're always singing. Let's not sing we turned out okay. Let's do a confirmation. How okay is this okay that we are? I like that. How okay is this okay that we are? All right, great, awesome. I can see all of this. All right, I can see all of the questions. 2 over 10, 2 over 10, 3 over 10. Awesome, great. Now, childhood trauma is very common and extremely common in our time. Right? Somebody said I missed 8 to 10 because of my network. 8 says, did you live with anyone who was a problem or a challenge or had a challenge with drug or alcohol? 9 says, did you have anybody that was depressed in your family, mentally ill, or wanted to commit suicide? Any of the 3. 10 says, did any of your family member ever go to cell? All right, great. So a lot of the things that we know in our climb is, I personally usually and experience one type of trauma or the other. The higher your ACE score, the higher your risk of health and social problems. Tell you that an ACE, anything from 4 and above, means that you need to go through therapy. If you have an ACE of 2, 3, you can take something, read books, take something of, light, take a small course, a short course, and deal with all of that. Now, please do not take any advice for. We have an SQ score that is 3. Please also deal with it. When I took it, I had 3 over 10. So I decided to deal with a lot of things that experience as a person, to deal with my own personal journey. I wanted my journey to be different. So globally, medically and scientifically, if your ACE score is 4 or more, then you need to do something, a healing class, a therapy session. The more your ACE score, the more you have the likelihood of things that we have shared in this ACE test, all the things that can happen. Childhood experiences have a lot to do with chronic diseases. And antidepressant prescription, drug abuse, suicide, smoking, and risk of perpetrating domestic violence. Go and check a lot of the people who are when you analyze the domestic violence of many men who actually abuse their wives, their ACE scores have been found to be usually very high. It is a problem. It's okay for us to live in denial, but hey, it's not about me. So toxic stress damages the structure and the function of the child developing brain. So we also have ACEs in children. There are signs that your child might have to begin to go through, a childhood trauma. When children face trauma or affected by one of these ACEs, they are not important. The young boy was sodomized when he was 15, and he committed suicide when he was 20. He's probably in therapy. Many boys who have been sodomized will usually commit suicide at some point. In fact, statistics put it at like 85%. It's a sign, it's a trigger. Many times when we see boys who have attempted suicide. In fact, 2 months ago, we had lots and lots of boys who came to the academy, their parents, attempt of suicide, and every single one of them had its roots in sodomization. We need to stand up. We need to stand up and stop sharing excuses. What are the effects of ACEs to your children? ACE causes a rewiring of the brain. Your child, might also be going through ACE because of your parenting style. It makes the children more prone to risky behavior, both now and in future, which is usually triggered by toxic stress. So prolonged activation of the body's stress response system, an area of the brain like the amygdala. So it leads to a reaction from the emotional part of the brain instead of the thinking part of the brain. That's the thinking and the planning area. So ACEs also affect our health. The life expectancy in Nigeria is very low. ACE puts a threat to one's life. One of the problems that we have, one of the issues we have with life expectancy is actually ACE. Proven is actually ACE. That's one of our biggest challenges. So you can just say, I don't care. Whatever it is that they are saying, it can affect you. It can put your life, it can shorten your life. That's the worst part of this. ACE can result in violent outbursts. You see all those things that you say, oh, my child just told me, I hit my child. I hit my child with pots. I didn't even know when I did it. These are all effects of ACE. It's beyond a tantrum, all right? Even children who are violent have been proven to sometimes this, might be the effect of ACE a child is suffering actually at that age. So when you have a child who is, struggling with the behavior, that child might actually be struggling with ACEs. And many parents who struggle with ACEs transfer it. It's always like a generational thing without even knowing. So these behaviors reflect your emotions and they dictate their actions. So the result of that brain heightens the emotional state and suppress the thinking process. ACEs can also affect learning disability. Children who have been exposed to adversity have a lot of trouble concentrating because they're always ready for danger. There's a trigger. So what ultimately puts children at risk of jeopardizing their well-being is a lack of emotional support at home. So loving your child is not enough. You must learn to support your child. So don't tell me, oh, I love my child. That's not enough. You must learn to support your child. Remember, abused people don't stop loving their abusers. Many of the times, they stop loving themselves. So the fact that you love everybody around you doesn't mean that these things are not true. So you need to take responsibility for your journey. Stop practicing the culture of silence. Speak out. Seek help for your childhood traumas. Parenting characteristics are reflective. I am more interested in passing these traumas to the young ones. Someone once said, oh, the passion that you speak with, you must have gone through a lot as a child. I said, no, I didn't. My mom is here. I didn't. I am worried that after my hard work in my house, that my children are going to meet all of these things. You see all of these things that I said? My children are going to meet it if I do not shout like this so that people will hear. That's the idea. I don't want to finish laboring and then one parent somewhere who did nothing and then their child just messes everything up. Even the things that you do not want to do, you will see yourself doing them because parenting characteristics are reflective. So parenting is about the process. If you're not willing to do the work, there is going to be trouble. You need to take responsibility for your life access. And, which is why we have, put up the Healing from Childhood Trauma course that can help you truly acknowledge the pain that you suffered. And in doing so, you begin to heal. It can help you take in compassion from others. We don't even know how to do that because a lot of us were, seriously, suffered adverse childhood experiences. We need to learn to reconnect to ourselves, including reconnecting to our emotions. That's part of the things that this course will do for you. You need to learn to gain understanding as to why you have acted out in a negative and unhealthy way. Why are you lashing out on your children? You need to get control of that. You need to start your intentional parenting journey without passing your heart to your children. We're going to teach you how to replace self-criticism with self-kindness and figure out how to forgive and move on. What are the 5 important things that you must do if you have suffered childhood trauma? Number 1, acknowledge that you're traumatized by your childhood trauma. Stop the pretense nobody's interested. It is about you. It is about you. All right? So you need to tell yourself the truth and begin to heal subsequently. You need to deal with that. It is very important. Another thing that you must do is that you need to agree that you want a better life. You need to decide, I want a better life. I want to do things differently. You need to make that decision yourself. I can't make it for you. I'm only going to be here in quotes. You can see me as someone who's ranting or someone who is teaching. Whichever one you see me as, the decision is for you to make. You need to agree that you don't want to be defined by your trauma. Whatever trauma that you've been through, don't allow yourself be defined by that trauma. You need to choose to forgive the people that have traumatized you. You need to ensure that your pains and your past hurt doesn't get the better of you. And you need to seek help. For you to be able to do all of these 6 things that I've told you, if you don't get help, you will continue to struggle. I'm not saying it to scare you. I am just telling you the truth. I have been there. All right? So you need to sit back and ask yourself genuine questions. Am I being affected by my adverse childhood experiences? What is happening to me? Do I need help? The very first sign of seeking help, the very first sign of being mentally okay is seeking help. Many of us are not mentally okay. Because you tell someone that you need to seek help. The person is looking at you like you're talking gibberish. We're not mentally okay. We're afraid of seeking help. That's the first step. You're agreeing that okay, I need help. That's what makes that. That's what gets you to the point where your mental stability is put together. Would you like us to help you begin to work on this journey? It's a journey, a very long journey. The earlier you start it, the better for you. If you would like us to help you through this journey, we're bringing in 2 psychotherapists into the system this time around to help you with therapy, help you with many of the things. And if you have scored, if you have looked at your adverse childhood experiences, please take action today. That course starts in May. You already know, in 2 weeks from now. We have left the early bird offer was supposed to end yesterday. We left it open. That early bird offer ends in 3 days. On the 30th, we're going to shut down the early bird offer. And that early bird offer is 50% off. So instead of 20,000 naira, you're going to pay 10,000 naira. Anybody who has ever been through this course will tell you that he paid 20,000 naira. And that's the truth. So we just wanted to make sure that people get into the system and begin their healing process. And immediately after this one, we don't premiere it twice in a year because we need to constantly bring in therapy sessions. It takes us a lot to bring in therapy sessions. Let me tell you something about this course. It's not a course where we want, whatever it is that you pay is not enough to pay the therapists. Let me assure you. All right, whatever it is, they're going to be paid. It's not enough to pay the therapists that we're bringing. We're bringing 2 world-class therapists. I don't want to stay here and tell you, oh, this is who they are, this is what they are worth. But one thing that I can assure you is that this is one of the best things you can do for your journey. I've seen, in fact, a parent reached out to me last year in the last session and said, I had to borrow money to go through this session. And I tell you, I am grateful to God that I did. ACEs can destroy you. ACEs can make a mess of whatever it is that you have been doing. Oh, by the way, this particular session that I just did with you, the ACE test, how do you want to heal? I had to create a free ebook for you so that you'll be able to get access to it. So that ebook, we created it today. My team didn't sleep because we want people to also be able to take this test on the go, or maybe not even just take it here, be able to sit back and take it and be sure of what they are doing. So we've created a free book for you, right? That you can get access to. Okay. So if you want to get that free guide, all you need to do is actually just to get access, to that free guide, and just all you need to do is just to put free guide and a link for you to free book actually. A link for you to download the book will be sent to you by my team. If you want to be part of this course, simply put course in the comment section. And as usual, we'll send you details of how you can go about this course. All right. Please, this book is free. We're not selling it to you. Okay. We just want you to have something to work with after this class. We just don't want to leave you or hanging and not understanding what exactly it is that we have said, because I know that a lot of the things that I've said today is looking like gibberish. All right, it's looking like we're just talking from back to end and all of that. For those of us on YouTube, okay, I'm going to get the link and share on YouTube for you. All right, so that you'll be able to be able to get it. If you want to be part of, if you already paid for the course, you of course you get access. If you want to be part of the course, please put course in the comment section so we can send you details. If you're on YouTube, the details of that course is right on our description. But a free book, we're going to send it to you now. We're going to send you a link. If you're listening to me, Augustine Kenny of My People, please do help us to share. Help us to share that link on. I think share on my WhatsApp so that I will pin for those of us who are watching on YouTube. Okay, and I've pinned it also on our Facebook community, so you can see it pinned. All right, so you just get a copy and then you can work with it and then you can settle in, look at it and all of that. If you want to be part of that course, please, the early bird offer, which is a 50% off, ends tomorrow on 30th. Please, we're not going to leave it, all right? Please, if you want to be part of that course, please simply share course in the comment section, okay? Simply share course in the comment section and we will reach out to you. We will reach out to you and share with you, okay, details of that course. All right? Yes, that's how we do it because we love you, yes, and we want a better society. So yes, this book is free. Please do not sell. In fact, I think we should print do not sell on that. Do not sell because I heard that people sold some of our materials and all. Please do not sell. If a book is free, we'll put it free for a reason, okay? Thank you so much. All right. So if you are here and if you're on YouTube, please, all you need to do is for you to get a course is to look at our description. All the details of the course is there. All right. Or God can also send me the link of the course. I can also pin it for them so that they will be able to get it here. All right. So thank you, everybody. Do we have questions so that I can answer the questions while we're getting the free ebook? Trust me, every single one of us would need to actually work on all of these things. All right. I've pinned the message on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, just look at the pin message to get a copy of this book. All right. Thank you, Augustine. Please share details of the link to me as well. Okay, of the course, so that I can also put up for those of us who are asking as well on our community on YouTube. Okay, so like I said earlier, this book will help you to have access. All right, this book will help you to have access to this test that we have shared, and then be able to also at your time read through and understand a lot of things about adverse childhood experiences. Okay, so if you want to be part of the course again, this course is key. If you want to be part of the course, trust me, you want to actually go through this course. And after May, in fact, already we have a lot of things happening in the academy in May. All right. After May, we're not going to do this course again. We're going to have to do it next year. Okay. So you wait till next year to actually go through this course again. All right. I can't see any questions. All right. So details of this course will be in the description of this video on Facebook and also description of this video on YouTube. So if you want to go through the course, please, by all means, please use the link. You can pay using our direct link, or you can pay using our link on our seller store. All right. So if you have questions, we still have a bit of time, 2 minutes more. For our questions, please ask in the comment section. Let me be sure that I didn't even miss any. If I haven't answered your question, please copy and paste. All right. If you want to be part of this course, please simply put course in the comment section. Don't also say that, because at least we've shared free guide, we've shared course, and now I'm also going to be sharing books with you. Don't say, all of this, do something, Try one. Try one. All right. And you can also start with reading books. Okay. These are the books that we have in the academy. These are my books. This was my very first book, Connect to Correct. Connect to Correct has sold over 10,000 copies. Right now, I think we've done over 10,000 copies on Amazon. We've done a lot of copies. I think almost more than 2,000 copies. It's the oldest book that we have. So this is a copy. You can get it 3,000 naira, but it's a book that will reset your mind on where you're going to. All right. So it's a book that will reset your mind on where you're going to. Okay. So another thing that you also would want is the discipline that works. The discipline that works is another copy. It's also 3,000 naira. It's also written by me. You want to get a copy, you can get a copy of any of these books on Amazon. You can also get a copy from anywhere in Nigeria where you are, and then you will be able to get it anywhere. And then we'll have Walking Your Child Through Puberty. Now, I talked about pornography. If you have a child who is going through puberty, who is whatever it is, puberty, and you don't have a copy of this book, you're on a long thing. If you have a child who is 7, in fact, minimum 7, 6, 7, you've not started reading this to prepare yourself, you are on a very long thing. And if you're still teaching public parts and private parts to your children, you are even on a longer thing, because sex education have moved from there. We're no longer talking private parts and public parts. We're talking drugs. We're talking pornography. If you don't have this book, in fact, the media guide that we have, that's a guide that you can create to actually help you, prevent porn and all of that, came from this work. When we're working on this, that's when we actually came, buy this. Somebody said, where can I get the books? Ebon, where is your location? You can get it. You can pay and pick up in your location. And then for those of us who followed my Motherhood Chronicles, by the way, we're working on that book, and in March it will be out. We've had a lots of trolling on that particular, sharing. So we have this. People have asked me that I talked about my husband's book. It's called Building Your Marriage Plan. So if you want to start all of that, it's Building Your Marriage Plan, then you can deal with it. For those of us who are asking for access to the book, the free book, do not worry, you will gain access. Just hold on, all right? As soon as we're done, we'll deal with that. Okay, that's not a problem. All right, so this book will help you in your marriage, right? You can get a copy anywhere you are in Nigeria. You can also get a copy on Amazon as well. You can also refer, an e-copy is also 3,000, all right? By the way, this Walking Your Child Through Puberty comes with a workbook. It comes with a workbook and a 6,000 naira with the workbook. And it's one of the best things you will read when it comes to sex conversations. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you the truth, right? So that is it. And we are 2 minutes after 3. Okay, so if you've listened to me, you've taken the test, Omolola, just relax. We're going to deal with it, all right? We're going to deal with it immediately after we're done. Okay, so if you also would want to register for the course, I can see comments that talked about the course on YouTube. I'm also sending another stuff. Okay. I'm trying to be sure that this will go through. Okay, I can't see any question. I think we are done. If you're on YouTube, I have just shared details of how you can register for that course. All you need to do is to click on the link, and it takes you straight to that course registration. That's all you need to do. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me. I can't see any question. It means that is well understood, but hey, the ebook is going to answer many of your questions. We're also going to share right on the community so that you'll be able to get the copy. Thank you so much everyone for joining me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Please remember again that the course on healing from childhood early bird offer, all right, is the link for the test available now. Yeah, early bird offer would end in 3 days. And as soon as it's 30th, we shut down early bird offer, and then you continue to pay the real fee, all right, in case if you miss it. Okay, so thank you, everybody. And like I said, we're going to share the link. If you have issues, please, you can reach out to us, or you can reach out to my team. Their number is right on that, any conversation that you can see right here. Please, if you want to be, if you're watching a replay and you still want to catch up and be part of the course, simply put course in the comment section and then, deal with it. Or you want the free book, whichever one you want is fine. But all we want you today is to do